Hey y'all, this is Kobe R. Rice, and I'm back again with another weekly update. I was actually supposed to do this on Monday, but I couldn't because I was literally sick as a dog, like barely able to get out of bed. Um, and that's pretty much how it's gonna be for the rest of the week, unfortunately. But in better news, today's my birthday. Yay! Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, dear Kobe. Okay, that's enough. Anyway, um, usually I come on here and update you guys on my creative progress, my milestones, changes in direction, and not just like the physical actual manifestation of words on the page or pages in a script or I guess frames in a film, which actually haven't even happened yet. But I also tend to go into a lot of topics dealing with what it's like emotionally, and I guess psychologically to be an artist and a creative, especially in this day and age. I mean, it's always been hard being an artist, right? But with the advent of capitalism, industrialism, not necessarily a recent phenomenon, but since those things have happened, the position of the artist and the sort of standing and the import of artists has changed significantly in terms of how we view them as a part of our culture. And so I talk about all of those things, basically how like economics and capitalism essentially affects art and creativity. But this week, I'm actually not going to go into really any of that because it is my birthday today and it's my birthday week. And also because I'm recuperating from like a really nasty bug. This week is really going to be a time to just like relax and to just take a breath, to treat myself well, to sleep as much as possible, to recuperate, and also just to like reflect. Not only reflect on the past 6 months in my fiscal year for my business, which is like essentially my media empire. Excuse me, sorry, a part of the cold is that like all of this is like messed up. So you have to excuse me if I sound like snuffleupagus over here. But I'm not only reflecting on the past 6 months in my fiscal year, but I'm also reflecting on my past entire year. I think the new year is important in terms of like a rebirth for like new creative endeavors, new businesses. You know, I treat like January 1st from basically January 1st all the way to December 31st as like my fiscal year, for my business, my media empire in progress, for myself as an artist if on the business side of it. But personally, spiritually, emotionally, and psychologically, my personal new year for me is on my birthday. So every single year, I try my best to kind of sit back and reflect on what has happened during that year, what I've learned, how I've grown, the things that I've achieved, the things that I did not achieve, why I didn't achieve those things or why I did, and just to also reevaluate the goals that I have for myself personally in the coming year for myself. Knock on wood, because you never know how much time you have, right? So that's one major lesson that I always want to leave with you guys. You don't have to go insane in terms of pursuing your dreams or pursuing love or pursuing glory or power or whatever, but realize that everybody's days to a certain degree are numbered and you don't really know when your number is up. So make sure that every single day you're doing as much as you can, in a healthy, happy, productive way, to achieve your dreams and to love the people that you want to love the most and to be a healthy person, both physically, emotionally, and mentally. Be the best person you can be and try to basically make an impact that is a positive, constructive impact on the people around you. If you find that your existence or your actions or your behavior is actually mostly negative and people do not want to be around you and they don't want to gravitate towards your energy, then there's really something wrong. I mean, sometimes, occasionally, you know, the world, I wouldn't say the world, but a very small cross section of the world, basically the people around you, sometimes are really just haters. That does happen occasionally, but most of the time, if you're rejecting everybody in your circle, or you're being rejected by people around you, there's one of two things happening. One, either you have a really negative energy. I hate to say that, but you have like a negative sort of vampiric energy that is not conducive to attracting positive, healthy people. That's a possibility. Or your energy is actually really, really positive, or it's changing because you're changing, you're growing, you're developing, you're evolving. And sometimes when you're becoming the best kind of you that you can be, and you're putting on display the best parts of yourself, and you're in alignment with yourself and with your goals, and you're on the rise, whether that be career wise, love wise, money wise, creatively wise, etc., etc. Sometimes the people around you are not ready to take that next step with you, or they don't understand where you're going, or they don't like the fact that you're making improvements in your life, and they will become negative. And so in that case, it's also possible to repel people. So it's really up to you. Sorry, my phone is ringing because it's my birthday. People are calling me. Oh, hold on a second. I'm actually going to have to take this. I'll be back. I was saying before though, basically when you're repelling people out of your circle, unless you're naturally just sort of growing into different parts of your lives, usually it's because your energy is really fucked up, excuse the French, but that's just how it is, or your energy is really positive and amazing and evolving, but the people around you just can't handle it. So your job as a person and as a creative is to make sure that you are providing yourself enough perspective, enough critique, and enough interrogation to figure out what energy it is you're putting out. You might think that you're putting out the negative energy, but you could actually just be a positive influence and are just basically shedding a skin, which includes the people around you. You might think you're the most positive person in the world, but really you're not, and people are just not feeling you. People who would otherwise be supportive and loving with you and to you on your journey and stay with you on your journey are being repelled because you think you have this positive energy, but it's not. So just make sure that you're doing the inner work for yourself, just to make sure that you're putting out that energy that you want to put out, and that you're putting into yourself what needs to be put into yourself as a person. So I say that to say, this was not supposed to be some sort of life guru podcast, but I say that to say that I'm taking this entire week myself to do that inner reflection, that inner work, on every single level. Health-wise, physical, emotional, psychological, career-wise, creative-wise, family-wise, which includes motherhood, and just really think about how far I've come, the things I can improve upon, the things that I'm doing great at, the things that I suck at that I can really target and focus on. I'm so sorry. I sound like Miss Piggy with my little stuffed up nose, and all those things. So in celebration of that, I am literally taking most of the week off in terms of any sort of hardcore tasks that, for example, I have a writing deadline ahead of me, and I will be writing this week, but there are no rules, no deadlines, no word count minimums I'm trying to meet. Well, I kind of would love to get to 500 words a day, but literally when I was recuperating yesterday and the day before yesterday, I did nothing, and it felt really good to do nothing. So if it feels good to do nothing for the rest of the week up until July 5th at 8 a.m., then that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to take this week to just celebrate self, and just to do me, and to again, interrogate, think, reflect, improve, and plan for the remainder of the year, as well as for the beginning and the forthcoming year for myself. Because again, remember that I'm in the middle of my business fiscal year, but I am really at the very beginning of my personal year. So those are reflections that are happening on two different levels. And so next week when I come back to you guys, I'll be hopefully re-energized, refreshed, just relaxing, and ready to kind of kick off quarter number 3 for my business and quarter 1 for my personal self, with a huge bang. And I have to say that thus far, just from like a preliminary sort of overview that I'm doing in my mind right now, thus far I am really happy with where I am personally and really happy with where I am in my business. Although I would like to like really have much more content under my belt, like physical IPs under my belt by the end of this fiscal year. That's going to probably be like the biggest major goal, but we've met some pretty staggering goals for the first 2 quarters for Rebel Ragdoll. Actually, we've exceeded our goals and our projected milestones. It sounds so pretentious me saying this is it's really only me running all this and trying to like build this from the bottom up, but again, I'm taking the business mindset and treating my business like it's an actual bona fide business, standing like right next to Sony, standing right next to, you know, Fox Searchlight or whatever. Actually, because I'm trying to do like multiple things, it'd be more like, I don't know, Time Warner. But like not nearly as big, but like what I'm trying to do is more on the level of like Time Warner, because like they own pretty much everything, them and like Disney. uh, but you know, not quite Time Warner, but you know, maybe someday might get there. We'll see. Oh, did not mean to kick this. So in any case, that is what I'm doing for this week. And I hope that for those of you who are celebrating birthdays, it doesn't matter if it's this week, today, yesterday, December, if it already passed. Like, I really hope you do take that minute for yourself to just be present with yourself, sit with yourself, love yourself, and don't be afraid to critique yourself in a healthy, constructive way, okay? That doesn't mean beat yourself up. It doesn't mean hate on yourself or be negative or denigrate yourself. It means to acknowledge all the good, amazing, wonderful things that you have done in all aspects of your life and in your business, and then acknowledge those places where you want to improve and really make a commitment by like saying, I see that A, B, and C need improvement. I'm going to take steps 1, 2, and 3 to make sure that A, B, and C are improving by the end of the year. So I'm not going to go over all the sort of conclusions I've come to and the plans I'm going to have for the coming year and the coming half year, but I will have all that ready for you guys by next week. And I'll probably be recording another video update next Wednesday on July 5th. That'll probably be it, because I would record one on Monday, but that's really like the Independence Day weekend and I'm still going to be just like chilling. So I'll be ready to sort of get back on the horse theoretically on Wednesday, and I'll have sort of my year-long summary of like my personal growth as a person, and then I'll have like my Q1, Q2 summaries for what's going on with Rebel Ragdoll, and that includes my writing endeavors under Rebel Ragdoll Press, my filmmaking endeavors under Rebel Ragdoll Productions, and my education and training endeavors under the Bohemian Badass, as well as my plans and my training, personal training for my game design endeavors under Chick Rogue Studios. As I said, like, this is me trying to build like 4 different subsidiaries up at once. I know it sounds crazy, but like, just stay with me here. Magic is going to happen. Trust me, in the next 5 to 10 years, you will see magic happening. So I will have updates for you guys on all those fronts. But until then, if you guys are still hard on the grind, hard at work, doing your thing, that's great. I would love to hear back from a lot of you guys, all of you guys. And if none of you want to post below, that's also okay. In any case, I'm going to go and relax and finish rewatching episodes of The Blacklist, which is what I'm treating myself to because I love that show. Hopefully, the next and newest season will be available on Netflix. If anybody from Netflix is watching this, unlikely. But still, if you're watching this, you need to get Blacklist up ASAP. Like season 4 of The Blacklist, I need in my life right now. So, okay, if you could just like do that and bring the beautiful James Spader back into my life, that would be amazing. Okay, anyways, bye guys. Read on, rock on, write on, stay badass, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.